It's an allotment update today. The first warm and sunny day of the year this week. It's also my birthday. And what better way to spend part of it than doing some tidying? I turned the compost heap and got on with my zero tolerance campaign against the grass on my allotment plot that's been there for years. These private allotments are on a piece of land that was once pasture. Late last summer, I realised that I had spent years battling more with the grass than with any weed, and the vegetable gardens that I admire do not have grass between the beds. You can see in these shots what it looked like at the end of last summer. It was these aerial shots taken late last summer that finally made me realise that I was going to have to get to grips with the grass. I'd harvested an awful lot from the plot, but really it was just a few vegetables battling for survival amongst a load of grass. This shot of the whole site shows my original plot that I took over 6 years ago. And on here, I've got my polytunnel, my shed, and a composting area as well as a pond. And here's the new plot, which I took over in June last year. You can see on the neglected plot to the right of it how quickly the grass takes over. And that's what my plot looked like in June last year, together with some very tall perennial weeds. So we got from that to where we are today by trimming down the grass and then applying cardboard over the parts where you wanted to grow and adding mulch and straw and compost. And you can see from these shots from um, the summer last year that it did become reasonably productive. I grew a lot of squashes and courgettes because they would provide some cover over the weeds, spinach, the raspberries, beetroot, etc. But this lush scene hides the fact that there are an awful lot of perennial weeds growing amongst it, and it's really only the application of straw and mulch that was keeping it even vaguely at bay. Did manage to get a good harvest of squashes and other vegetables, and I felt as though the first year hadn't been wasted, had made a start, and now it was a case of making more progress over the winter, ready for the next year. And as I say, that aerial shot of the grass everywhere was what finally decided me that is going to be have to be a sort of zero tolerance. So now that a lot of the grass has been killed and suppressed over the winter, I have set about digging out some of the really, really well established perennial weeds, including dock, which I've had to use a spade for, and it was very satisfying to feed that to the chickens that are on our site. I also managed to get hold of quite a lot of wood chip, and that's from our local cricket club that use it for the borders, but they always have too much. So I'm raking that out to the paths, and I'm applying it quite thickly because I do know that there are more weeds down there. They just haven't come up yet. So it's been a little bit piecemeal, but I am managing to win the battle at the moment. The border with me and the next plot that you can see there that was just grass before, I'm actually going to have flowers all the way down there. So I've got those growing at the moment at home. I hope you've enjoyed this update. I'm hoping for an even more productive year this year. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll be back soon with more progress on these two allotment plots.